this thing.
Great.
Okay, so welcome to today's Mentee meeting. Today we're going to talk about lead generation, part 1, and next week will be part 2. And we're hoping to have a special guest to share some information with us, maybe YouTube related, maybe other social media platform related. We'll see. But we're working on something special for next week. In the meantime, I did want to share some information about EXP. EXP World, if you don't know, is going to change to EXP.World. What's amazing about that is that it's actually going to be in the meta sphere. What does that mean? That means you'll be able to log on from your cell phone. And I tried it today and it's actually really, really cool. So it should be going live for everyone February 6th. There's going to be an open house where agents can jump in and jump on to play around with it on February 2nd. And I think I tagged you all in a workplace chat on that. So check it out, go in there. You can create your own avatars just like you can currently. I've been doing a lot of the beta and the beta looks really rough right now, but I think the end result will be the same, if not better. And what makes this way better is that you can access it from your cell phone. So you won't need to have your computer, your laptop, because you couldn't do that before, because you had to download the Verbella app, and you won't need any of that. You can just log in straight off your phone. So that's going to be really nice and really easy. It should be a lot better for a lot of the agents, especially when you want to get onto the broker floor and talk to any of the brokers out there. So I think that's going to be a nice addition, a nice upgrade, eventual, for all the agents here at EXP.
So I wonder if that's where because I haven't been able to get into EXP World at all. So is that maybe the reason why?
Oh, really?
It kicked me out and it said I had to download again and it still wouldn't work.
Oh, maybe that might be why it shouldn't be doing that, because it's not happening. Well, it's what, 2 weeks from now? That's unfortunate that it did that. Good to know. I will take that information back. In between now and then, if you do need to go in the World, you might just have to download it. But once World is live on February 6th, then you should be able to just delete those apps from your computer, because they won't go anywhere. They'll be dead. So that'll be nice, because then you can free up some space on your computer. Pardon me. There's something else I wanted to share today. Let me find it. It's in my email. And I sent it to myself specifically to share with you guys. I had it up before I turned this on and now I lost it. Just a second. Where did it go? Download EXP. Let's see if I can search another way. Oh, I think I sent it yesterday and not today. That could be why. I thought it was yesterday.
That wasn't a Stanley Cup, was it? I have to ask.
A Stanley Cup? Oh, my God, no.
Okay, not a Stanley Cup.
Sometimes you forget you're awesome, so this is your reminder. It was a gift and I like it. Okay, so I'm still looking for, shoot, where did it go? Share with mentees. That was that about EXP World. And then scroll down further, next page. I have so many emails in here, so I am just trying to find the right one. Oh gosh, I am so sorry. Okay, you know what? I'm wasting too much time doing this. So I will look for it and make sure I send it in the email with the recording. But what I want to do now is, let's see if I can go back in and do thing where I could find my slides the way I want to show them to you. Just a minute. Why isn't it letting me do that? Let me share. Okay. Do you see real estate fundamentals?
Just, I see state fundamentals.
Oh, okay, hang on. Get that out there. Go.
There it goes.
Real estate? Okay, perfect. So this, like I said, this is going to be a two-part section on lead generation. We're going to discuss lead gen options, some fair housing. There's going to be homework. So there's going to be homework attached to every email information that I put out. So do it for you, or know that it's a resource for you when you come across something for lead generations or business planning. You're going to be like, there's an email Christina sent me that has homework assignments or has attachments to it. And just know that I'm sending you guys information. It's for you to use for your own business. You can use them however you want. Always a good place to just, one thing you'll know when you're a realtor is you are a resource and you will become the best resource. You're going to be the walking Google for your clients. You're going to be and you wear lots of hats, and you're going to have either vendors or other resources at your fingertips or shortly where you can say, I'll get back to you at the end of the day today. And let me gather that information, and I'll make sure I send you the right information. You just have to become a resourceful person. If you're not already, know that you have to do that. Don't get frazzled. Just make sure you know that you're going to be that go-to person, and you want to be that go-to person, because not a lot of people are. And some people don't think to be resourceful for your client, but when you are, they think of you as knowledgeable and skillful. So even if you don't have a lot of years of experience doing this, or you're brand new, that being resourceful takes you far in this business. So just keep that in mind, and just know that these tools are available for you. So the next thing we're going to talk about is lead generation fundamentals. So having the right mindset, being a great resourceful person, and having skill sets and tools available is going to take you leaps and bounds ahead of the rest. Having the right mindset, thinking, I'm trying to pound this into everybody almost every week, it feels like, but you are a small business owner. You're small business because you're, me, myself, and I am one person doing this. Even if you're part of a team, you are still a business owner. You just happen to collaborate with other people if you happen to be on a team. So treat your real estate like it's a business, not a job that you're doing. Yes, it might be part-time what you're doing now, but think about it in the frame of reference. What if you actually have two jobs, right? You go to do your day job at, ABC company, and then you do your nighttime job at, XYZ company. That's great. That's fine. You have to transition from one place to another. Same thing if you're working working a 9-to-5 job right now, and then doing this business on the side. If you're doing this business on the side, when you go to a shopping store, a boutique or a Ace Hardware or wherever, there's hours, there's a manager, there's inventory, there's things that either the people at the counter know or their manager will know. You are that manager, you are the owner of that Ace Hardware store or that franchise or whatever. That is you. You have to be the one to have the answers. And when you don't have the answers, you have to be resourceful. But the key being, not only besides being resourceful, is having the mindset of this is my business, so I need to treat it and own it like it's a business. You need to have some expectation for what you want to accomplish with your business. And a lot of this is tied into a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about business planning and goal setting and having your numbers, et cetera. It all flows together and ties in together. And you know how for our license, we have to always have the continual education. You're always getting educated with information with real estate, whether it's a change in the law, which there are a lot of new laws. If you don't know what the new law changes are, go to California Association of Realtors and search for them. There are new laws. There's a whole page of them, if not a couple pages of new changes. Some will affect you, some won't. But it's good to know what they are, because undoubtedly you will have a conversation with someone this year, and it will probably be talking about property management or rentals or taxes or property tax. And maybe that's on one of the new laws, and you want to be abreast of all the new information that's coming down the pike. Again, CAR is a great resource for you. It is part of your membership, so you should access it on a regular basis. So you want to make sure you're educated, so that way you can educate your clients. You want to make sure you have expectations for your company, you, yourself, and you, right? You want to have expectations that you, and goals for your company. You want to have expectations of your clients as well, once you get into presenting them, and to not just contract with them, but once you establish a relationship with them, you want to be able to have expectations of not only what you do, what you bring to the table, but also what you need them to do as well. You know, being mindful, being upfront, and disclose everything. If they're your sellers, if they're your buyers, you want them to get all their paperwork in order for the lender, et cetera. So there's some expectations there. Skill sets. You are going to be on the phone a lot, maybe all at once, or maybe not at all. When I say all at once, that what I mean there is sometimes, I know Michelle's been part of a team where she makes, you know, phone calls. The team lead will have a list of names and phone numbers, and they spend, you know, a couple hours dialing those phone numbers and talking to the homeowners on the other end. So that is one way to be on the phone. But you're going to be on the phone talking with people from open houses, or people you meet, or your sphere of influence, just reaching out and having the conversation with them about real estate, or how they're doing, or life, you know, recreate for their family, what they're doing for business or recreation, what are they doing for fun, what are their dreams, that type of thing. You're going to be on the phone a lot. So you also want to project yourself when you're having a conversation on the phone. You'll see, or I think you see it maybe in movies. I have seen it in movies where people are always on their cell phone, and they're standing up and they're walking around, et cetera. There is a reason behind that a lot of the time. They're just not really anxious people. They happen to sound more confident when they are standing up versus when they are sitting down. And it has something to do with your diaphragm. And when you talk to people who do acting or stage type of acting, they have to project their voice to the people at the very end of the room. Or when you have maybe heard keynote speakers, they have to project their voice. If there's a room crowded with people, you have to talk loud enough to the person at the back of the room. And then you have to stare, you know, at certain people along the way, from the front row to the middle to the back, and from the sides. There's a whole thing on it. You could take classes and courses on this on LinkedIn for free, as a side note. And there's another resource. It's called Udemy, Udemy, and you can Google that. It's a resource online where you can learn a lot of things for free. But when you're on the phone, you have to sound positive. You want to smile. Some people make phone calls in front of a mirror, if that's helpful to you. But it makes a difference when you're smiling and you're having conversation versus when you're not smiling. Your voice just drops, and it tends to be a little bit different. So it depends who you're talking to, you know, and what their situation is. I think I would change my tone of voice when I'm talking to somebody on the phone if there was an illness or a death in the family. I certainly wouldn't be super chipper, you know, happy-go-lucky on the phone. There's certain things, social cues that you pick up on in this business. There's also courses and classes on that as well that could be really beneficial to you. And digital, you're going to have to get, well, I skipped in person. You're going to be talking to people in person. And again, using that same framework for conversing with people, talking with people, looking them in the eye, talking loudly, take that deep breath and have a conversation. Like you, when you know something, if it's like me, when I know something very well, I tend to speak very loud and clear about it. If I'm not sure, I might be a little bit more timid and shy about whatever the subject matter is. So when you're talking to new people, you always want to come across like you know exactly what you're talking about. Even if you don't, you want to give off that persona that you do. So that's a skill set. And it is, some people, it just comes too naturally. For a lot of people, it's something you need to work on or learn, and you can build on it and really perfect it. So I definitely recommend finding classes that you could take. That there's a ton of free stuff online. You could probably YouTube a bunch of stuff. And I think one of the there was a really great one from LinkedIn, and it had to do with Broadway actress, and she was sharing all this information. I learned a ton from that particular course, but again, I'm just kind of putting things out there that a lot of people don't consider. Like, how does it have to relate with real estate? It has to relate with real estate because of your conversations you're having with people on a regular basis. And it's not just clients, you're having conversations with your peers, and you also want to be able to convey confidence when you're talking to another realtor on the other end of the line, especially if you're going to be representing, the client, whether it's a buyer or a seller. You want to come across as somebody who can do this transaction with your client and get it closed. And, because that's a big deal to have confidence. If I have a listing and somebody is on the other end and they sound like they just don't know what they're doing, I'm going to be a little hesitant to really push. Of course, I'm going to share the offer with my sellers, but I may not even share what my own fears are, but I'm going to be fearful that this is going to be a struggle of a transaction to close it if the person's super, shy or timid. So you have to get out of your shell a little bit. It's uncomfortable, but once you break out of that little shell, you will be a nice big butterfly and be able to go wherever you want in this business. Digital skill set with digital, everything is online. Everybody's talking about AI, ChatGPT, social media. Right now, you have to be wherever your clients are. And if your clients are online, then you should be online too. It doesn't mean you have to be on absolutely every platform, but pick one, stick with it, and be consistent with it. It's not easy sometimes with life and work and, family, etc. But if consistent means once every week, do once every week. If you could do more than that, great. But be consistent with something every week that you can. Tool sets, planning. I've talked about having a calendar before. If you don't have an appointment book, a planner, however you want to call it, a wall calendar, a desk calendar, something that fits in your shirt pocket, and they make them small, they make them big, almost fits every size that you want or have. You need to have some dedicated source, or your cell phone, your calendar on your cell phone, a dedicated source to have your calendar to plan. And you want to check your calendar every week and plan every week. Have one day where you look at your whole week, so you know what's coming down the pike for the week. And if something, and things change, which is fine, but if you already know what's coming, you won't be as frazzled when, if an emergency pops up and you need to rearrange something. Like if something came up today, then I know I would either cancel this and let you all know, or push it to later time in the day or tomorrow or something. So you kind of have to, I don't know what the term is in boxing, where you have to move and you have to, weave in and out of the way of things that happen in life, etc. And your database, you have to be able to know how to work your database. So I think everybody here that I can see is tech savvy enough to be able to upload your Excel spreadsheet or your CSV file into KV Core, so that way you can digitally handle your database through KV Core and be able to manipulate emails and have conversations and set up listing alerts for your clients. You need to be able to do that in this day and age. If you are still, old school with paper, that's fine too. And if that's where your clients are on paper, then that works. It's where your clients are, you need to be. So if you have a mixture of clients where some, like, and when I say that, I'm talking about people like, I'll say my parents who are not tech savvy and cannot, well, my dad thinks he is, but to be able to use a spreadsheet online would not work for my dad. So something like that, I would need to handle either for him digitally or do some paperwork type information or mailers, something like that. So you need to be able to be flexible with what you have as well that you're working with. And then let's move on to the next one. Referrals and leads. So who to ask and how to ask when you're generating referral leads, where you're going to talk to your sphere of influence. You're going to talk to partners, your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, or people in your household. You're going to, if you have clients already, you're going to talk to your clients. You're going to ask for leads and referrals, phone calls again to all of the above. Maybe have in-person meetings, and then you'll talk to people while engaging when you're on social media as well. If you have a post that you put up and you have people commenting, reply back, respond back. Don't just do an emoji with a thumbs up. If it's going to be able to maybe open up the conversation a little bit, that's great. Have a line of words back. It doesn't have to be a sentence, a couple words will do. Plus that's helpful for your algorithm on Instagram or any of the social platforms. If you have at least 5 words, so if Michelle posts something or you on and you post something, instead of me just doing a thumbs up or a heart, what I should be doing, and I will from this point forward, now that I'm saying it, is responding with at least 5 comments, especially if you do a post. I don't know if it's the same for a reel or a story, like on Instagram, but if you do an actual post, I can comment on there. If it's 5 words or more, then that helps you with your algorithm and the analytics of whatever it is you're posting. So FYI to that. And let's see. I know I sent Michelle something today, and I think I'm actually going to send that out to the rest of the group. And it was something I heard today on Tim and Julie Harris. It was a podcast, and I really like them a lot. I was coached by them a long time ago, and I really like the content that they put out. They're also with EXP, which is awesome. Anyways, it was about an 800 phone number. What I really liked about their 800 phone number is that you could use that 800 phone number for your business cards, but you could use an extension for your listing. You can use a different extension for information for your buyers, or you can do a different extension if you're going to host an open house for a particular property, and you can put that out there. You can have writers with this phone number on there and just throw the little extension on there as well. And it's amazing because people will call that versus, clicking on a QR code. And when that person, though, it's all meant for leads. And I will send you that link, and I really want you to listen to it, because today when I heard it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is gold for agents who have listings. And I mean, it got me thinking, okay, I might have a listing coming up here soon, and I really might put that into action because I loved it so much. And I thought the way they use it is brilliant, because they use it different than how most agents would use it. And it's easy, and all it is lead generating. And it's the most simplest form of lead generation I've seen in a really long time, and it really doesn't cost a ton of money. So I don't know. When I send it to you, take a listen to it. Okay, we're running out of slides here. Here we go. Internet leads. I think 5-4. Okay. Not just ads. They chose to engage. Content and value is king. Again, social media. It's how often you're posting, what you're posting, sharing stories, creating videos. That's good that you're doing the YouTube videos, Juan. Writing blogs, if you have time to write blogs, that's always great too, because it links people back to your blog. You get to keep all that information. Email lists are queen, because if you have thousands of followers on Instagram versus YouTube, and Instagram and both platforms shut down, you will lose, and like they close up shop for good, you will lose your subscribers on Instagram, but you won't on YouTube, because it's different. The YouTube, so that's good that your son has 1,000 followers. All of those are his. If YouTube shuts down, he can and turns back on again, he would still have those followers, but it's not the same for any other platform out there. So you want to be able to, and all those videos that you're doing are amazing, because once you throw them onto YouTube, you can always reuse that content forever. That's evergreen. You can use it over and over in different ways. You can make little snips. You could do long trainings, whatever it is you're teaching on there. And you know what would even be great is your journey as a realtor. You could even, do those like selfie videos of here's what I learned today, here's what I did today. And actually, I think a lot of people would be really interested in how it's going. And people always root for people when they are sharing their journey of whatever it is they're starting. People are like, all right, you could do this. They just kind of cheer you on. So I think that if you decided to do something like that, it wouldn't be a bad thing. It would be probably working your favor. Okay, so then the next thing I want to talk about is skill set again. So when you're on the phone and you're talking to, and it's not necessarily on the phone, but when you're on the phone or in person and you're talking to your sphere of influence, your database, your referral partners, use the Ford framework. What is Ford? Ford is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And listen more than you talk. Hey, Juan, this is Christina. Or if we're in person, Juan, it's so good to see you again. I haven't seen you in a long time. How's your family doing? You're going to tell me about your family. Oh, that's nice. So how's the work going? I know that you're still working over at ABC Company. You're going to tell me a little bit about that. What are you doing for fun this weekend? Or is there any fun trips that you did so far this month, or anything planned before the month's out? You're going to share yes or no, and then if you have maybe told me that you were going to go on a kayaking trip, in the summer, and you have never gone kayaking before, I'm going to ask you, so how are you still on target to do your kayaking trip this summer? You're going to say yes or no. Little things that you've told me, little things that I know or have learned along the way. I'm going to hit all of those topics: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, because what do people like to hear? Or what do people like most? They like to talk about themselves, and they like to hear their name. So when you are focused on that person, when you're having that conversation with them, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, they're going to hang up thinking, what a great phone call. And, when you're asking them about their job, it's more than likely they're going to say, well, what are you doing these days? How's work for you? You could say, I'm still working at whatever ABC Company, but I started my own business. I'm a realtor with EXP. Oh, you are? How's that going? It's a learning curve. I'm learning and growing every day, and I'm ready to help you, buy or sell a property. And what does your timeline look like, et cetera. And the thing I was going to show you today in the email gives you the perfect script for an email, but you can also flip it to a phone call. And it's a script today for how to email people and ask them, like, oh, it's 2024. What are your plans for, buying or selling this year? And maybe you already know that they're not planning on selling, but you can ask them again, because maybe things have changed in their life. Oh, well, yeah, no, we're staying put. Oh, but our son is looking for a house to buy. Oh, really? There's a lead that you never knew that was a possibility had you never asked that question. So when I send that copy of the email that I was searching for at the beginning today, and you look at it, that will give you some scripting to talk about. And one of the things I heard today was agents hate the word scripts. We hate scripts. Well, don't think of them as scripts. Flip it, change that perspective, call them conversation outlines. The email I send today will have a conversation outline in it. And it is something that you should use. Just tweak it to make it flow with your words coming out and your tone coming out of it. The next thing I want to talk about is, let's see here, plan calendar database. We talked about that a lot. If you want two listings, it's going to take at least 64 leads, which equate to 8 appointments. 8 appointments could equate to 4 clients. 4 clients could equate to 2 closings. 2 closings could equate to 2 listings. Again, this goes back, but that's just like a random number thrown out there. Your numbers are going to change based on that Excel spreadsheet that I gave everybody a copy of to have their numbers on, and make sure you're aware of that. What are you doing every day? If you're not getting, the 8 appointments a week, that's a lot of appointments, but, and that's probably for somebody who's doing it full time with nothing else to do. If you have a side job or you have family, that's going to be a difficult hit. Unless you sacrifice some things and balance and keep a harmony of some sort. And then you want to calendar things, right? You want to make sure it's in your calendar, because if it's not in your calendar, it's not going to happen. And decide if you're going to look at your calendar. I already said do it weekly, obviously daily. For me, I'm always constantly looking at it, but I'm not planning on it daily. I'm planning on a weekly basis versus daily, and look at it at the best time for you. Is it morning? Is it night? For me, it's going to be Sunday late in the afternoon, if I don't have anything else going on. Otherwise, it's Sunday nights when I'm looking at my calendar for the rest of the week. And I know we're running out of time. We only have 1 minute. Takeaways, I'm going to send 2 cheat sheets over to you guys when we are done. One is a prospecting cheat sheet and the other is a lead gen plan. Really simple 1-pagers that have basically they're like tally sheets for you, and kind of keeps you on. They're like the bumper guards, right? When you're at the bowling alley, these are just bumper guards for your prospecting. How many, it was like that analysis, 64 leads equates to, 8 appointments. It's one of those types of tally sheets for you, if you will. Okay, that's it, everybody. This is going to kick us out anytime now. Let me know if you have any questions. Look at the homework assignments. Take a look at what I send you in the emails, and have a great rest of your evening. Take care. Bye.